Hi, and welcome to my channel. Spring is springing. The weather is warming up and things are starting to come out. My crocuses are blooming. The daffodils are starting to poke their little leaves out. My winter sown containers, some of them have sprouts in them. And so I'm out here to do a little bit of spring cleanup. The main thing I will be focusing on is the crepe myrtles before they come out of dormancy, and anything really kind of perennial that I should start cutting back before the new growth starts. I will take care of that. And then also show you some of the plans that I have. I've been sort of mapping out what flowers go where, what I'm gonna grow. So let me show you how the winter sowing is doing. So I have strawflower, alyssum, poppies, and calendulas that have sprouted. Here's the strawflower, little baby sprouts. Here is the alyssum. Clearly I may have overseeded. And that is the calendula, if you can see it in there. It's like 2 or 3 little sprouts in there. Here are the poppies that are starting to come up. So that's the update for the winter sowing. This week, I believe it's this Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, where the temps will be in the 60s. I have a feeling that there are several more that will sprout, but I will give you a progress probably sometime in late March, early April. So for the crepe myrtle, I did the thing that you should never do, which is sometimes referred to as crepe murder. As you can see, I had cut it back quite a bit. And that's because it's right by this window. It is extremely close to the house. This was the prior owner who decided this was a great place for a tree. So we were trying to control the height of it, but I think what I will focus on is really keeping it just open as best as I can throughout the season and not let it get too overcrowded, and just keeping some of the main stems. So what I'm going to be doing is really kind of following the main stem and cutting back all of these smaller branches along the main stem. Also, anything that sort of crosses through the middle is twisted around. See how this one is all twisted around and broken? That's gonna come out. And yeah, a lot of these little shoots, as well as any of the ends where it bloomed. So here's the final result of my pruning, and this is all ready to go for the spring and summer. So I also pruned this holly, and I want to take it back quite a bit and make some room because I want to bring in the hydrangeas into this area that gets a bit more shade in the afternoon. I also cut back some perennials here, the St. John's wort and the dianthus. I always cut back the dianthus way back. It already started showing some green, but it'll fill right in. And then the St. John's wort, just taking it back quite a bit to keep the size in check. And I also cut back the agara, and that was also starting to show a little bit of growth coming up. And I was going through my garden and I saw the peonies were starting to peek out from the ground as well. This one was a transplant, and I'm so amazed that it's coming up. And now some other planting that I've been thinking about is this bed that's in the corner of our property. and I want to be able to get some privacy in here. So I'm thinking of adding some evergreen trees, and then also some shrubs later on around the perimeter. But for now, I also want to change where the bed is actually located and shift it over. It feels like it's too far over to one side. So by shifting it over, I'll have to expand the bed a bit and then reshape the bed and where the curves are. And here's from the back side of maybe adding a trellis and some lattice to hide the generator. So then I was playing around in some graph paper and showing where the trees would kind of be, some shrubs, probably forsythia, and where all the plants would go. But as I started drawing this, I realized I was running out of room and I kind of needed to shift things around. So this is still a work in progress. So for this garden bed, this is where my dahlias were and my zinnias and cosmos. So I intend to keep it as a cut garden. Generally, I am adding some perennials in here. But I will be adding the dahlias up in one corner, and then some foxgloves, the gladiolas that I purchased. I have some sunflowers, cosmos and zinnias, and then some of the straw flowers. And I'm also adding a trellis with a hyacinth bean in between the two hollyhocks, and some lupins, as well as some white agastache, and then some new hollyhocks that I am growing from seed. And here where my two peonies are. And then the veronica that I have in another bed, I'll be transplanting here. So that's it for this video. Thank you again for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye. So for the crepe myrtle. So for the crepe myrtle,